Well, here we are with the next episode of my Rostock Max version 2 build. So the machine is built. When last I left you, I had a problem. So my problem was that I did a stupid thing when soldering the leads and sleeving the leads for the hot end thermistor. And that meant that my temperature display wasn't working. So when I went to try and find that problem, I thought I had a problem up here in the hot end. So I started taking that apart and trying to look at it with a magnifying glass and try and see what was going on. And while I was removing the huge amount of tape that I had put in there, well, not a huge amount, but Captain tape is really sticky, I ended up accidentally pulling the thermistor out of the hot end. So once I fixed my problem, which was down in the base, the hot end was fine, I had to put the thermistor back in with more RTV and wait for it to cure. So now it's been 24 hours and I'm ready to continue with the final steps of my Rostock Max build, and that's the calibration. I've been following the second version of the manual for this, and so far I've been having a lot of luck with the manual. I really like it. There's more pictures. One of the big differences between this, so the second edition manual is only available in the forum right now, and it's a work in progress, okay? Now, one of the things about it, like I was just about to say, a big change is this. So the new edition, second edition of the manual, uses only this program called Matter Control. The original manual tells you and takes you through using Repetier Host. I went ahead with Matter Control and I was using it, and I think I showed some short sections of it in my last video or the previous video, and I kind of liked it. It looked alright, it was good, and I was gonna go ahead and continue using it. So then what happened is I actually got down to the end of the calibration parts and getting ready to do your first print, which is the fan shroud for the peak. And that's when I got to this. Where is it? Okay, getting there. This is the second edition manual. So the first print, peak fan shroud. Configuring the slicer, and then you get to this. I stopped here. Matter Control slicer management is a total disaster. I can't continue until it's fixed. So that stopped me cold in my tracks, and I thought, holy crap, I don't want to deal with that. Because one thing that you do have to do when you're configuring this Repetier host is you have to actually, as far as I can tell, not all of the settings are held on the firmware, but you do have to do some configurations in Repetier host. And I didn't want to have to deal with two different pieces of software. So I've decided just to go back to the original manual and go through everything using Repetier host. The next problem I ran into is that the Repetier host version has been greatly updated since the original manual was written, so things don't entirely look the same. One of the things that you really have to do is type in manual G-code in order to perform actions, and you need to be able to see the log. The interesting thing is, if you're looking at the way this looks, the G-code edit box is right there at the top of the controls, and you can see how the controls look. So here's the new version of Repetier host, and it's quite a bit different. In fact, this, I couldn't even find this, because when you first come into here, this is your view. Yeah, this is what I saw. So there was no G-code, there was no log, there was nothing. So I had to, it took me a bit, but I figured out if you click on easy mode, then you get the G-code. And then when you come up to here to tools, where are we? View? No, where the hell did it go? Oh, did I lose it again? Oh, file? No. Tools. Printer. Configure. View. Where'd it go? Where the hell did it? Oh, there it is. Toggle log. You got to hit that in order to get the login. So now and the other reason why I decided to go with Repetier host is that the slicer program that comes with Repetier host, CME CNC already has pre-configured slicer configuration files available for download. So I figured I'm just going to go with this. So my next step is actually to begin calibrating the hot end. So let's do that. Here's my printer. I've actually got my temperature gun here for measuring the bed. And here, let me just show you. So I'm going to take a shot of the bed. There. 27.5. 27.9. Every time I've ever done a measurement on the bed, I have always been in within half a degree. Very good. The nozzle temperature is much harder to get, of course, but if you sort of just kind of move it around a bit, you can eventually find a spot where you'll be pretty close to the display temperature, but I don't think it's going to be easy to get an accurate temperature there. Okay, so let's start tuning. So I've got to send the command, and then I got to find out where the heck. This is one of the other reasons why I wanted to decided to want to use Repetier Host, and that's because of this logging. So I'm going to just try and see where is. Oh, there it is. Temperature curve. This looks like a much more full-featured application than Matter Control, and I might just end up sticking with this because I like some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is really cool. Like, I love graphs. Okay, so let's send this first command, and then I'm just going to let it go, and then I don't know what I'm going to be doing for videos, but what do I got to do? I've got to send that command. So we'll just copy that, come back over here. I'm just going to go back to big, push that in. I'm so scared. Okay, let's do it. So this is going to run for a while. Doesn't look like it runs for very long. And then it's going to kick out some numbers that I need to keep track of and do more stuff. Anyways, let's just push the button and see what happens. Apparently nothing. Oh no. The hot air, the nozzle is definitely going up. Except I don't see the graph moving. Okay, so I guess maybe sending raw G code doesn't actually show up in there. So we were passing 100 degrees, but that is just not showing it. Why? Oh, I can see some smoke coming off of the hot end there. So we're shooting for a target temperature of 200. But that chart isn't moving. And now, see, it worries me when things don't do that. But if I look on the right side here, I can see that the temperature is moving up on the bottom bar there to the 200. But why isn't the graph moving? Oh, I've got lots of smoke coming off of here now. Why? That's a lot of smoke. That doesn't look right. Holy cow. Okay, so it said little smoke, and it really emphasized little. But I don't think I'm seeing a little smoke. I think I'm seeing a lot of smoke. Okay, it's hit 219.5. It's not going up anymore. It's starting to go back down. That's good. And it stopped smoking. Nope. Nope, still smoking a little bit. Okay, well, I'm going to end the video here and just keep working along and pop in periodically. What do we got happening down there? Okay, so PID auto tune start, so it's still going. Yeah, this is going to take a while, but I really don't know why that graph isn't showing me what I'm expecting to see. So we're going to end it here, and I'll see you in a bit. Oh, we're back down to 195 now. So that's good. Things do seem to be behaving the way I expected them to behave. The smoke has definitely stopped. All is good. Alright, see you in a mo. So the auto tune has completed, and I have my output, and I've taken my values and averaged them. And I've put them into the program in the right place. So I've got the right there, P gain, I gain, and D gain. And my chart has finally shown up after it finished. And you can see it looks like it's, I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's not accurate. What I mean is it's not real time. Like, it's down to 69 degrees because it's been off for a while. But it looks like that's just starting to catch up now. Do I have a scrolling problem? Like, anyways. So this is finished, so I'm going to save this now. I'm going to click OK. And that's been saved. If I just go back up here to Tools, no to Printer, no to Config, Firmware, I can just scroll down and find it again and make sure those are the bed, extruder. Yep. So they were saved. So next up is to do the bed. So that's a slightly different command. Going for 60 degrees. And now I'm going to do basically the same thing for the bed. Why do I think I have some sort of scrolling problem? Oh, that's why I do have a scrolling problem. Oh, that's why I wasn't seeing anything. I wasn't scrolling. It didn't really flatten out. Like, if we look at the manual, oops, and we look at the picture, we can see his is much nicer. So I wonder if that's because my thermistor isn't in properly, or I don't know. But let's run the next command and just see what the bed looks like. So this is the bed. Okay, so the bed's got power now. Yeah, it's definitely going up. And my light is on, so that's good. My gun is definitely showing higher temperatures all of a sudden. And the nozzle is stuck at 60.6. Okay, it seems to be flattening out. It's because there's power going to it. Oh, did I just do something bad? Why does it say wrong checksum? That can't be good. That's weird. Anyways, see, the power, what? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why that's showing output extruder power so high. Okay, so anyways, killed. What? The hell just killed me? Alright. Anyways, I'm just going to let this go. Well, it's warming up. See, that says 43.1. That says 44. 44. 44. 44.5. Alright, I'm going to kill the video. Be back in a bit. Well, I finished the bed. That was the same thing. Let it run for a while. And then get the numbers, average them out, put them in, save it, you're done. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so I got no error that time, so that's good. Up next, we're going to be setting the Z height of the machine. That basically means bringing the nozzle all the way down to the bed with my piece of paper in there and doing that calibration that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. This is only the very first step of actually calibrating the entire head positioning bit. There's a lot of work to do here, and that's one of the things about the Delta printers, that they do take more work to calibrate than our Cartesian. I'll talk about more than that in a minute. But first, this is our opportunity to actually get in and start playing with... Focus! Start playing with our LCD controller. Maybe I just need more light. I don't know. Do I need more light? I just broke my light. Yeah, okay. So anyways, I hope you guys can kind of see that. I really do. Okay. So what we're going to do, this is the knob here. We're going to push the knob. And now we get our menus. Okay, we scroll down to advanced settings, push the knob, scroll down to our calibrate Z height. And this is where we're going to be able to actually just manually move the thing all the way down until we do our little step-by-step paper bit. In order to properly do this, though, we need to heat up the hot bed and the hot end up to almost near working temperatures. That will expand the head, the nozzle there, just a tiny bit, because metal expands when it heats, and you got to have that percentage calculated in. So you're probably not going to see me for a while. The next steps are just a lot of repetitive work. First we set the overall Z height. We're going to home it first and then set the Z height. Do a whole bunch of stuff. And then we start going through all of these macros, setting each individual axis height, coming down, hitting a bunch of points, going back up, over and over, repeating it. And I'll talk more about that when I get to it. So I'm just going to take care of this step and we'll be back. Alright, I'm back, continuing with my adjustments. I've got my Z height adjusted now, as far as I know. And now we're going on to the end stop adjustments. Each tower is done individually. For the rest of this, I've actually switched back to matter control. The reason is none of these adjustments record any settings in the software only. These are mechanical adjustments and whatnot. And the instructions tell you to set up a macro or a script, but I can't even find this damn thing, so I'm not even doing it. And besides, it actually looks like this is all easier to do here in matter control, because you set up the macros and you have nice little buttons to do everything with. And I'm just going to use matter control for this last bit. So let's see here. So first of all, we're going to position it using... I'll move this over here. Now, where do I go? Configuration, show terminal. So let's type in, let's hit this. Now let's type in G28, which is home all. So it homed. Now we're going to put this one in. G0, Z5, X0, Y90. And I don't know what the hell that's going to do, but let's find out. Oh, please don't break anything. It's not even close. Okay. And then we click the home all icon on the movement controls. Why? I don't know. It seems weird. Okay, so I'm going to follow this and do all of these steps, and once I figure it out, maybe I'll do a quick addition to the video. I'll be back in a bit. Focus. Okay, so we're back doing the end stop adjustments. The end stop adjustments are getting the end stop screws. You can see the screw there underneath the switch, right there, adjusted properly so that all of the heights and accuracies are great. So this is where this matter control actually came in pretty handy, because you just have these little buttons, you set up the macros, you follow the instructions, and everything is good. So let's do the tower, the Z tower first, and we'll just check out what I've done. Press Z tower. So everything homes itself and then moves down and puts the nozzle right there at the back of the plate where the Z tower is. Now I'll do my test. Just a little bit of grab. It feels just like it felt when I did the Z-axis height originally. Now let's do the Y tower. So it goes back up. This is just a macro, a G-code macro running. So it homes everything, brings it back down. Move my paper. Feels the same. That's good. Now let's go check X. They go home. Exit will be right over here. Feels good. Let's see. Feels a little bit tight. I'm going to back that just a hair. So I'll get my screwdriver in here. And I'm going to turn that screw down just like an 1/8 of a turn, really. And do my X tower again. And that feels better. I'm going to turn it just a hair because it felt just a hair loose. There we go. That was a very tiny adjustment. And I do mean tiny. Feels good. I'm going to check my Z one more time. Feels a bit tight now all of a sudden. Why? Because I made that other adjustment? No. So I'm just going to keep doing this a bit more, and then I'm going to come back down here and recheck my Z-axis on here. And I'm going to be very anal about this because it's important. All right. Okay, well, that was time consuming. And you know what's really cool? In the documentation, both old and new, they've actually got a flow chart telling you, here's what you got to do. Over and over and over again. That's why there's a flow chart. It's the, you got to do this a lot. I mean, really a lot. So let's check it out. First of all, let's check our Z tower. Let's check our Z tower adjustment first. Down here at the bottom. Okay. Got a good right there. It's perfect. Let's go to Y. Why? Because I love you. Coming down. You do this enough times, you go a little bit loose in the head, I guess, apparently. So that one's nice, too. That's perfect. Let's go to X. Perfect. Let's go to Y. Or sorry, let's go to the bed center. Perfect. And we're done. I'm just going to home everything. Okay, the next check we get to do. So that's the end of the calibrations. It's calibrated. Let's lower this a bit because I can't see what's going up here. Okay, so the next test is the extruder. So everything's up to temperature. Interestingly enough, the firmware says it won't let this extruder work unless the hot end is up to temperature, which makes sense. You don't want to try and shove filament into a cold end, a cold hot end. Okay, so I'm going to hit the E extrude button, and according to the... so hit, yeah. Watch the knob. When you click that button, it should slowly turn counterclockwise. So it should basically feed. Okay, so let's bring this back. Extrude. It's going the right way, isn't it? Let's go backwards. Yeah. Okay, good. And then, now that we know that's going the right way, there was one last thing, and I've actually already done this step, and that's to set the steps per millimeter to 92.65. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Why? Because we're done. I'm done. The very next thing I get to do is print something with my printer. And I'm going to print the peak fan shroud. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. I hope you enjoyed watching my build of the Rostock Max V2. Couple of closing thoughts. Yes, this is a very good kit. The parts are high quality. The fit is perfect. Everything is just, like seriously, everything just fits so perfectly. The uprights were dead straight. Everything is tight. It's a very solid. It looks great. It's minimalistic in materials. That's why they got the acrylic. And it's awesome. And it's a unique looking printer. Everybody has the box, but I got a Delta. Screw your Cartesians. Oh, and there's one other thing. So, remember earlier in the series, I told you I accidentally put the plate on upside down, and it really didn't matter more or less. However, there is one thing. If this plate was on the right way and flipped, I'd have been using these mounting holes instead of these, and this hole would have been here. And that's the feeder hole to allow your spool, which is up here, to feed your filament down. So all I did was I just drilled myself a new hole. So, you know, my first modification right there, drilled myself a new hole. So this has been a great project so far. Really happy. The instructions were great. The new manual helped a lot, and definitely the additional pictures were good. And we're done. I'm done. I got fingerprints. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up before I totally lose it. And the next episode is the first print. Thank you for watching. Be back soon.